Hi, I'm Kim Wilson,
And I'm Natasha Marchewka.
and this is Speechless. Welcome to our behind the scenes take on real life in VO, where we share our stories, our, I forgot,
Resources
our
and our
resources,
unsolicited
and our
opinions.
unsolicited opinions. It's only season 5, people.
Welcome to season 5. Rah, rah.
Woo!
We're
Thank you.
super excited to have one of our favorite guests. And I know you know who it is already.
I know.
Well, Kim does, but everyone else, because we've already had him on
Twice.
3 times.
Oh my gosh, 3 times.
We've had him on twice, but we had to cut one show in half because it was so
Oh, yeah.
long-winded. Um, So
We love
today
him.
we're talking about, we love Thom Pinto so much, and we're talking about VO Atlanta because it's coming up, and Tom has a plethora of tips, so many tips.
And
So,
especially if you're taking
Mhm,
an X session, you'll want to
mhm.
tune in because he really preps you on how to be the best you can be in those X sessions and how to
Yeah,
really shine.
yeah, imagine that. Okay, watch this.
Speechless. Speechless. Hey!
Hey, whoop, whoop, whoop. We're really excited to have you here today, Thom Pinto, because this is the first episode of our 5th season. So,
I know.
yay!
Yay.
Yay for 5th season, but yay for Thom Pinto. We love you
Well,
so much.
no,
Yeah.
I'm honored to kick off the season.
We're going to celebrate by sharing, toasting.
Toasting, of
So,
course.
did you bring a beverage, Mr. Pinto? Oh,
Yes.
that's a cute mug. What do you have? Water, coffee, tequila?
I have what is it called? Poppy. Poppy. You've seen
Oh,
the little
Poppy.
the poppy
Poppy.
drinks, but there's no tequila in it,
Okay.
unfortunately. A little too early. If we had done this at 5, I think I would have been like,
Right.
What flavor of Poppy did you bring?
it is the strawberry lemon. All
Kim,
right,
what
I'm
did
gonna
you
shut
bring
up.
today?
Well, I know that you are a tequila drinker, so I made a tequila sour in honor of you.
Who, you, Tom or me?
Tom. Tom is a tequila drinker.
Absolute, I am. Well, thank you. It's good, and I will be a tequila drinker in Atlanta too, probably.
Yeah, and it's 5 o'clock here. I just would like to
This
say
is
that for
true.
the
No,
record.
that's right. That's right. Tasha and I, maybe we forget about the fact that, you've been
Oh,
up and at 'em, George McFadden, for quite some time. So,
well, I have definitely
salute. What do
earned
you
this
got?
drink. It's even though it's 2 o'clock here, I've earned this. It's hard kombucha, 6%. I haven't tried it
Ooh.
yet. It's a painkiller. It's interesting. The lettering is upside down here, so I guess when you drink it, you can read it. I
Oh.
love painkillers, the drink. Like
Oh.
it's rum and well, rum. Orange and pineapple and coconut. So I'm going to try. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers. I
No,
need to know
salute.
what that tastes like and where can I get one?
Mm,
I've never seen that,
yum.
but of course I'm not in a major metropolitan area, so maybe we don't get
Trader
those.
Joe's. Do you have Trader Joe's?
Oh,
Okay, I'll
okay.
we do have Trader Joe's, and we do
Yeah.
go to Trader Joe's, so I will
Mhm.
look for that there. And I know
What's
that
it
They have
called?
different June Shine. It's a
June
type of
Shine.
hard kombucha, and then they have all different flavors. And I thought I would try the painkiller. Definitely does not taste like a regular painkiller, which is so delicious. I must share the recipe at some
did
point.
that did that
But
did that help after a long medical narration thing?
it did. All right. Well,
All
let's
right,
get
Coming
into
in
some
tips.
questions. Today,
Yeah,
great.
what we're going to talk about actually VO Atlanta and conferences
it's
Mm-hmm.
coming up.
because it's coming up. And if you're watching this, we are sharing this before the conference. And also, Tom and Kim and I, we just have our thing at the
We
conference.
do.
We like to
We do.
hang out and have dinner and stuff. But
We're the
anyway,
band.
we're going to talk about the education part of it and different things. But what I want to know, because it's relevant to me and my session today, many voice actors get incredibly nervous for sessions with agents or casting directors.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for managing that fear and showing up with confidence? Besides medication and alcohol.
Yeah, yeah.
What's next?
No tequila before the X session.
Yeah.
That's the best advice.
I'm going to start, maybe this is a cheat. I'm going to start by talking to your friends and finding out which agent or casting director that you know of is the most user friendly. Now you may say they should all be user friendly, but
Right.
there are a few who are terrific but a little prickly. And what's interesting is that the vibe of a conference is a little different than a private lesson, because I know I can be a hard ass in private lessons and stuff like that, but I have time to regroup and everything, and it's one-on-one and all that other stuff. But when you're working with 12 people in an X session there, you can really put somebody on their heels. So my advice is, I know it sounds too simple to start, don't be last. Don't be sitting there waiting and deferring your pain. Okay?
That's a good
It is.
tip.
You know what I mean? Because if your body language is slumping around, most of these directors are experienced. There's a lot of good directors here, and they're experienced enough to be able to read body language and say, you know what, this is going to be tough or whatever, or maybe I'm going to have to cut my losses and just help him or her out. The other thing is, I realize that we don't want to miss anything in the middle of a session, but I would just say that if the director comes up with some kind of an order, so he says, okay, Natasha, you're third, and Kim, you're fourth. Well, when Tosh goes up to the mic, you could excuse yourself to go out. Maybe he or she thinks you're just headed to the ladies' room, which maybe that might be something realistic, or just go out there, not just to read over your copy aloud, but because after we've been sitting a long time,
Yeah.
so you think nerves and then lethargy, kind of an unusual combination.
Right.
See if you kind of can fight that. The other thing I would do is arm yourself with smart questions.
Oh, that's a good one.
So let's say after your first take, he's not overwhelmed. I don't know why I'm saying he, because most of the men are jerks. Okay. So I would say at the end, when you're done and the director gives you some notes and things like that, I would come back with your own takeaways. So my takeaways on this are ding, 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 and ding. So you're making that director accountable to your questions, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to say, I want to perform well. I want to execute what you're talking about. I want to make sure I'm clear. And so sometimes I will find that when somebody pushes me a little bit, my answer is clearer.
That is excellent. That's gold.
So,
Wow.
I mean, at least try that. The whole phobia of working, I will tell you,
Yeah.
the whole phobia of working in front of agents or casting directors brings up a point that is not a popular point for me to bring up to people who put on the conferences, is that, some people aren't ready to be in front of top casting director, top agent, or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Every agent has a different style. So I'm just thinking, if you're not sure, don't do it. Now, some of the people that might be watching here, because you have a lot of people in the business who watch. I know, because they say, oh, I saw you on Speechless or whatever. So if these people are in the know, they're experienced, they've got to be used to a little bit of the pushback from a director. Now, we get a little insulated by self-directing all the time. I mean, that's what we have to do. I get it. But at the same time, think of it as liberation. You run it down, what you think it should be, whether it's a commercial, whether it's a promo, whether it's a TV narration, a corporate narration, or an animation clip. Give it your best go. The worst thing you can do is be tentative. That was the final thing I want to say.
Yeah.
Fail big, or be distinctive. Show the
Right.
director that you're a risk taker. And I don't care who the director is. They're going to respond to that feeling more comfortable giving you stuff. The
Yeah.
worst thing that a director is when somebody gives a really safe, easy read that doesn't have a lot of flubs, because then they go, what can I give that this person?
Mm, yeah.
It's a dangerous middle ground. So, but we all have to go through some of those experiences where we've got to perform at the drop of a hat, that we have to
Yep.
perform, how do I put this, under pressure. Why should we expect the experience is always going to be an easy experience?
Mm,
Anyway,
Right.
heck
that
no.
that's I mean that's just a few of the points
That's a
that come to
lot of
mind.
takeaways. We're going to have a
It
lot of
is.
typing to do for our newsletter. All the information there. That's awesome, though. It's all
I
well,
didn't mean to do that to you.
No,
Okay.
it's
it's
great. I
good.
think
So
right
helpful.
before people need to know how to enter into an X session and how to make the best of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
be their best selves in it. I had a question, and I know we talked about this once before, but a lot of people either rush the panelists afterward
Hmm.
and need a piece of you at all costs. And, you know, we've warned people like, don't go up and say hi to people, don't interrupt people. But some people also hesitate and are afraid to come up after. What
Yeah.
is the best way to start that conversation with a panelist, a coach, a mentor, somebody you admire without
Mm,
feeling intrusive or awkward? How would you like someone to approach you?
It's a great question. I respond to people who respect my time. That's number one.
Mm,
I sense it right away, and I actually want to do more for
mm,
somebody who does that. Okay.
mm,
I think VO Atlanta specific, Kim, would be um, they shuttle us out of there. In other
mhm.
words, if it's a 10 o'clock breakout session or panel session, they want everybody the hell out of there by 10:50
yeah, they do.
because they want to clear people in. So keep an eye. So if you're the fifth or sixth person in line, I would say stand back there, but as that director is starting to move out, I would walk outside too and say, I know you had to get out of, we all had to get out of there. I just had a quick question for you.
Mm,
I think they will appreciate that. Um, I'm also one of those people that I feel like Pigpen. Remember Charlie Brown and Pigpen? I
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like I got all my papers all over the place, and I'm talking to people, and I got my papers over here, and did I forget something like that? I think one or both of you have helped me at a couple of those places where I'm talking to people, and you grab stuff, and you. I think I don't know who it was. You picked up my little satchel and said,
Briefcase.
Yeah.
here you go, Tom,
Yeah.
time to go. But
That sounds like us.
yeah, but it is funny, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I know that we've talked about it before, that we just don't understand people who get boundaries. It's one thing to be assertive. Please be assertive.
Mm,
But crossing over the line to say, I'm bumping in here
mm,
to make sure I get my something. Okay.
Mm.
The other possibility is, if you're not able to connect with that director, I'm sure you're going to have access to their email or website afterwards. I get a lot of people say, "Hi Tom, I was at your breakout session. I really enjoyed it. I wanted to ask you a question about blah blah blah."
yeah. I
That's a
think that
great idea.
if they're emailing you, they're earnest with their question. If it's in
They
person,
are.
maybe they just want FaceTime with you and they're just
Yeah.
asking a random question. So that's a really good point.
Well,
And probably appreciated so much more.
Mm-hmm.
yes, I think so too. I mean, I must admit that I'm going, well, I guess I did have an impact. And if I had that kind of impact, that's great. There's a difference between impact and then somebody will say, hi, I was just wondering, who do you think I could talk to over at the blah, blah, blah network? It's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
let's jump way up here before I know whether are you with somebody getting this kind of copy? Do you already have a demo? Who are you studying with and all that stuff? So
Yeah.
hard for me to even come up with answers like that. But
Yeah.
you know, I still think kindness and manners are going to go a long way. They're going to go a long way with somebody like Celia Siegel or Kay Bess
Hmm.
or Tina, or Marilyn Wisner or Jeff Howell.
Mm-hmm.
So let's let's go that route. And I think I think we all know that whether you're a presenter or a participant, we're expending a lot of energy. Students,
Yes.
participants are expending energy to go to this session. Then they got to go to this breakout session. Then they're going to have lunch, and then they go back up to the room so they can rest a little bit because they've got a 1:30 thing with somebody. Okay,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody's doing that. Coaches, I have to. I mean, Scott Parkett. I don't know what he drinks or takes or whatever because he's just like always
Full
going.
of energy.
That guy
Yeah,
has so much energy.
he does. He just really, really, really never stops. It's crazy. But that's that's
That's
part
his
of who
charm.
that is part of his charm. But I'm no good to people if I spend too much time downstairs after a session or even before the session. So I have gotten to the point. This is going to be my 6th year doing this,
Mm.
and I have gotten
Wow.
to the point to where it used to be, well, I have a 1 o'clock thing. I'm going to come down at around 12:30, blah, blah, blah. I can say hi to somebody. Then I get over to the venue and I've got 15 minutes to set up or so. No, that doesn't work because there are too many people that I know, people that I don't know. They come up to you, go, hi, I'm sorry, you don't know me. I was
Mm.
just wondering, blah, blah, blah. And, it is, I feel like we all have to be ambassadors as
Mm.
presenters.
Yeah.
So if it's a 1 o'clock thing, I go down at noon,
Mm. Mm.
but not a moment before
Mm.
because because
Just enough time.
just enough time to accommodate, but then I need to get back into game mode.
In the zone, yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I have to.
I'm going to
I
lead this into
Yeah,
another
go
question
for it.
that's
Go for it.
Yeah.
giving us your top tips for preserving your energy
Yeah.
at the conferences so you can be engaged and present. I know that's tricky for both Kim and I, and we really work hard at balancing our energy. What are some tips that you have, Tom, besides, okay, so managing your time super appropriately, I guess.
I think you have to I think you have to say to yourself, okay, if you take a look at your schedule and people say, gee, I'm wondering if I can have coffee with you. Well, which day is a good day to have coffee, if at all possible? Okay.
And
That's not
not
just,
3 a.m.
and not three, no, and that's totally right. I mean, there are people, it's like, now it gets to the point to where if I'm come back from dinner with a couple of my favorite friends here, and you guys go to your place, and there I am, and I walk into the Hilton and stuff like that, and somebody just goes, hey, we got tequila up at our good. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something. Let me see. I go back to my room.
The Irish goodbye. I've actually written several blog posts about getting ready for conferences, so you'll see that down in the notes. And one of my major tips, and then Kim, I'd love for you to share one, and then we'll go to a break, is to, and some people hate doing this, but plan out the whole time. Print out the schedule and mark down what you want to see, what you have to see, what you'd like to see, what you might see. Again, Kim's smiling like that because there's a lot of people that don't roll like that. They're just like, oh, wherever the wind blows me. But I'm all about, this is 3 or 4 days. Need to check off all those things I want to get done. And that includes the social aspect. Make sure I have the time. We plan, y'all out there, we as a triumvirate plan our meals
What a
even.
triumvirate. What's a triumvirate?
Triumvirate.
Guess what? It's that word on the SAT test.
What? I didn't pass that one.
Triad. We all plan our dinners and our nights out together. What time are you free?
Yeah.
Okay, this time.
Mm,
Okay, I'll meet you at the. And I really suggest doing that because if I've been known to be shy and introverted, and it's like you're kind of kicking the dirt, like, who am I going to go to dinner with?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good
it's
to
like high
have
school all
plans.
over again. Who am
Yeah,
I
it makes
gonna
you
go
feel good when you've already
That's
planned it out.
Yeah.
that's funny. Well, can I be at the cool kids table or
Yeah,
whatever?
can I sit with you?
It's tough.
It is important. I believe I'm gonna just put a little asterisk on what you said, Natasha. It's not negating it, but I think that's a great idea. But then don't beat yourself up if you only
Yeah,
do 75% of that, because
absolutely.
Right.
I'm going to say if you don't do that, then you go home going,
Yeah, then
oh,
it's, yeah.
I was too tired to go to the karaoke party. Or how did I not know that that was something on Sunday morning that I could have done?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have options, keep your options open, rest being one of them. Never feel bad that if you have to rest. Kim, do you have any tips before we go to a break?
Yeah, well, my only tip was actually you stole it. Was
Oh,
I always pre-plan. I
ah,
always highlight what I'm going to. I always know
mhm.
where I'm going. I always know where I'm heading. And I also have a plan B.
Yep.
Like
yeah.
I'll ask
Yep.
somebody,
Plan B
have
and
you
plan
gone
C,
to this?
actually.
Have you seen this before?
Yep.
What did you think?
Yep.
And then I'll decide
See,
off
that's
of
how
that.
important it is. We both brought it up. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hi, we're just cutting in for a minute for our promo. It's not really a promo, it's just a few
It's
things
not.
we want to share with you. We want
Yeah.
you to go to speechlessvo.com. That's our website. You've heard us talk about it many times before if you've listened at all. On speechlessvo.com, besides having resources, we're also selling our Speechless Planner. That's a daytimer thing and has goal setting cues and has all kinds of things, resources.
A
It's
way to keep
undated.
organized.
Way to
Yeah.
keep organized. It's undated. So you can buy it any month of the year and just get started. So check that out. There's an ebook version and printed version. And we just want to share with you that we are going to be on stage with Studio Bricks. They will be at VO Atlanta asking us some questions. So we
I'm going to
hope to
try
see
not
you
to be too
there.
nervous.
Okay. Back to the show. All right, we're back from our break. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We are definitely meandering all over the place in terms of, what to do, what not to do. For those people who are new to VO Atlanta, I'm going to briefly say X sessions are paid sessions. They're extra. Are they 3 hours or 2 hours?
The
Three
3 hours.
hours with 12 people, and you get personalized attention. Breakouts are 1 hour, and it's a big group of people. Generally, maybe sometimes not as many people show up, but there's a lot at the same time. So, to reiterate, you really need to pick and choose what you want to do and maybe ask your friend to trade notes or something like that. So, a question, this is a tough one, I think. Um, are there any sessions or things at the expo, X sessions or breakouts that either of you have felt like changed the game for you, were so memorable that they opened your eyes? Kim, do you want to go first?
Yes. Deborah Wilson changed my life. She
Wow.
was the speaker, the keynote speaker 2 years ago, I believe. And I found her presence so powerful, her
Mm-hmm.
approach acting, to acting in front of the mic, um, her approach to, gosh, life in general was so inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and I crossed out all the things on my list that I was going to go see, and
Mm-hmm.
I just followed her the rest of the
Mm-hmm.
weekend because I found her that life-changing. And
Yeah.
I am so grateful to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe, is she speaking this
She
year as
is.
Yes.
well? She'll
Yes, she
be
is.
here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
She
So
has
if
a
you need to catch her.
she has a body class
I
Oh,
might be
okay.
there.
that I and by the way, I looked at it and I was looking at some that still had some openings, and I don't know when this is going to air, but I'm saying that there were a few openings for hers, and that
Cool.
you're right, because you know what? There is something about spirituality and healing and
Yep.
and opening yourself up on your performance. And I mean, I remember,
Mhm.
after
Yeah.
you guys had taken you know, had been with her and just said, you know,
Yeah.
oh,
Right. And let's face it, as actors, it's so important to be vulnerable, right? To have the copy touch you in some way, to be open to that
mhm,
and to get in touch with that. And her teaching how to get in touch with that was really powerful.
Yes. Tom, any more super memorable sessions or things at VO
well,
Atlanta that you?
I think it qualifies, but it could have been 3 or 4 years ago when
Mm-hmm.
Townsend Coleman was the keynote speaker,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to see his speech, but I'm sure he was wonderful because he just is.
Mhm.
And but Kay Bess asked me to be part of a podcast with
Mm-hmm.
Townsend, and we sat down for a good hour and a half,
Mm-hmm.
and we exchanged stories over the
Mm-hmm.
years, things like that, and something that he said about the acknowledgement
Mm.
of how hard someone making a lot of money, what kind of sacrifices that you end up making.
Mm-hmm.
And he was alluding, how do I put it? He was alluding to his private life.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And it helped him. He had 4 children and all that other stuff. But he did a little too much. But
Mm-hmm.
he, sometimes when you have those golden handcuffs, you do more than that. And I wasn't in Townsend's 7-figure-a-year league, but it just reminded me as I sat there, and I said I felt the same way that I was chained when I was doing CBS Evening News, chained but very happy to be chained.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I said was, I said, if you talk to my wife, she'll say that she likes the guy much better who is no longer doing the CBS Evening News.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing
Ah,
was that I learned was about the sacrifices, about having the balance in your life, having that balance, no matter how much we want this, that sometimes if we don't have a supportive partner, sometimes, if you have a child who is upset because that their father isn't able to come to see them that week because you have to be doing NBC comedy promos, whatever it may be. And it was just very, very soulful.
mm,
And of course, Kay's very soulful. And Kay was
yeah.
also talking about her over the years. Her
Mm-hmm.
career has just been a roll, and she's free to admit that. So it was just a reminder of vulnerability. Of we all go through it. It's not always sunshine and rainbows, but we
Yeah.
are doing what we love. But we still need to find that balance.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to add to that, and then
Please.
Yeah.
my last tip. The thing is that when you're in it, when you're in the machine that is your business, um, you can't say no because it's your job, and people are coming to you with, "Do you have that ready?" And that's the job we've chosen. And quite frankly, some days I don't enjoy my job for whatever reason, many reasons, I guess, depending on the day and how difficult things are script wise or
Mm.
whatever. But I feel really, really lucky to do what I do and to make the
Mhm.
money. You can't, and I understand that. You make a lot of money and you're not going to turn away clients unless they're low paying clients and you can say, well, or maybe give a job to friends, but still you're working on this thing where you have to find a job, many jobs a day, and they come in and you can't control how busy you're going to be except maybe to put on the gas because you want to make more money. So it's a tough one. That's very tough.
No, but it's important to shut it down, though. It's
As best
important.
as you can.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You
Mhm.
to say, you know what, it's 7:30 and you're done.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to do anything more. Maybe I'll get up a
Yeah.
little bit earlier when I'm fresh. I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. You've got to feel like a human being.
Yeah.
And I will say this, even I know it sounds crazy because people go, oh, I don't feel sorry for them. But the
Huh.
the years that people like the late Ernie Anderson and even Don LaFontaine, when Don LaFontaine was at his height, he had a limo driver. So you go, okay, you're going from here, you're going from there. But he even talked about the fact that I got to get out of the car, I got to go in, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking at the clock, I got to get back in the car so we can get over to the next studio, which obviously his limo driver had all that information.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody finally said, just let him do it from home because it gave him more peace of mind. But I'll just say that for me, getting out every once in a while is a wonderful thing. You get in the car and you go get a cup of coffee at 3 o'clock to take a little break. If you're working a 9 to 5 job, wouldn't you also be taking a little bit of a break?
That's it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
And
right.
I think people just kind of go, oh, there's that email again. Oh, I saw ASAP
True.
again. And
Yeah. I do sacrifice auditions. That's the one thing I say, okay, it's 7:30 or whatever. Yeah, no,
good for
I
you.
gotta be done.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Because you know what? I think there's a law of diminishing returns with the number of auditions you turn out in a day. There just is. Because after a while, it's kind of like, you know what? You can't tell me that the quality of 4
Yeah.
auditions versus the quality of what you did on 15 auditions is the same.
Yeah.
It just,
Interesting. Yeah.
energy level. And I get it. I get it that people are looking for opportunities. They're trying to book. Some are saying, I need this. I need it to support my family. And I get that. But you don't want desperation to come through with your reads. Anyway.
Yep. Well, my last tip, thank you so much, Tom, is circling back to the expo, actually, because Kim and I have had wonderful time at the expo, whether it's getting our headshots and being goofy, or actually sitting down and talking to different people at Nava, or I'm in 100 Voices Who Care because of the expo at VO Atlanta, and so it is a good time to touch base with people.
When you say expo, make sure let's clarify the exhibit hall.
Yeah, the exhibit hall. I don't know why I call it expo. And also Voice 123 is there, so I can see those people that are usually like across the ocean. So it is a great place to hang out and have some calm and also do some things like tete-a-tete. So that's good.
And also, I will say, Zoom clients, to be able to run into them in person is nice. Especially ones you've never met. And one who I didn't expect to ever meet was someone who was a client overseas.
Oh,
And there I am, it's Thursday, and all of a sudden someone comes over and she says, in her lovely British accent, goes, Mr. Pinto, what are you having for dinner? And it was Daisy Tennant. And I'm going, wow, this is so cool that you're here and all that. So, it's nice when we can have those things, I mean, neither of you live across the pond, so it's always nice when we see each other in person too. So, but so that's nice, I think, for coaches. And I think I'm hoping it's just as nice for people who have worked with me and they get a chance to just, I don't know, shake my hand, give them a hug.
yeah.
If you're sitting there, like if I'm at the bar and I'm having a sarsaparilla, something like that. Why don't you? You have to say sarsaparilla like this because
Yes, I know. I'm only going to say it like that from now on.
Every time you say it.
Yeah, I know. It was certain period of time, but I would just say that, believe it or not, people, if you're concerned about money, there are a ton of breakout sessions where people are basically shrink wrapping what they do. Like one of my X sessions is sold out. The other one is like, I don't know, think 2/3, okay, whatever. But I'm also doing a 1-hour overview. That
Invaluable.
that's something, right? And I know that, Terry Berland, her commercial stuff. It's Marilyn Wisner. So, but they also have the 1-hour breakouts. Tosh, you're going to be on a powerhouse panel. With by the way,
panels.
But that one panel has like 7 people. It's like, By the time each of you say something, it's going to be thank you and good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous because I probably don't have to say anything.
Oh,
Uh,
stop, you
hey, this
fight.
was lovely, guys. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah. Thanks
And we
so
will,
much.
and again, here's to boy, 5 years. I think it's just wonderful that you guys do this and you have this great sense of community. May I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Is there an in-person event possibly down the road again, like your one that you did in LA last year?
Ooh.
Yes, we're
Oh,
trying to pull one together. It's just, where.
I know,
when?
I know,
How?
but that was a
It
great
was a
thing
hit.
for.
It was a smash hit, I have
It
to
was
say.
great. And by the way, great venue. I know I wasn't there, but I mean, for that, but it was when we went out to lunch that one day, I was gone.
I want to go back there with you guys.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
Yes, we
same.
have to.
Cacio e Pepe. I'm there.
Okay. On that
Anyway,
note, thank
all
you,
right.
Tom.
You
Thank
too,
you,
both of
Tom.
you.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Speechless.